You're welcome back. It's still this in Business Reporter. Like I did say before the break, that we're going to be taking a look at the business of painting and paint production. And it may be interesting to know that Nigeria, which is often referred to as the giant of Africa, boasts of a burgeoning economy with a vast array of investment opportunities. Among these opportunities, the paint production business stands out as a very lucrative venture. According to industry reports on businessblog.com, the market size is estimated to be worth over 50 billion naira annually, with projections indicating a steady growth rate of about 5 to 7% per annum. Now, this growth is primarily driven by the booming construction industry, increased urbanization, and a rising middle class with disposable income for housing and renovation projects. Now, the question I want to ask as we get into this conversation is, how profitable, really, is a paint production business in Nigeria and in Enugu State more specifically? Joining me on this conversation on the business of painting and paint production is none other than Adindu, as his name is Adindu Davidson Chituru, who is the director, Let's Go Painting. It's good to have you join me this morning. Good morning.
Thank you very much.
Good. First of all, let's start with rating. How would you rate, as it were, the building industry of which you're a part of, functional part of? I mean, painting is part of the building industry. How would you rate it? And would you say it is booming or it's not?
Of course, it's booming.
I mean, everybody's complaining of cash crunch.
But it's still booming. People are building. There's a lot of estates. There's a lot of layouts going on in Enugu. You go down there, go this part, go the other part, you see things are happening. It's booming. And those structures has to be painted.
And that's where you come in.
Yeah, so that's where I come in.
Okay.
Painted. Has to be taken care of.
Okay, now, the question I really want to ask is, I mean, I've seen quite a number of young people who would dabble into everything else but paint. Why painting? What is it a function of somebody would, like a lot of persons like to say, I was born with this thing. You get, in your own case, you know, what exactly was it? Why painting? How did you dabble into painting?
First of all, I was born into a family of Jehovah's Witness. So when we were growing up, within my book of my Bible story, we used to do drawings here and there, draw Samson, draw the lions, draw the Noah's Ark, and all that. So that was how we started painting.
Okay, well, let's take a short break right now. When we come back, we need to fix some technical issues. We'll just take this break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Please stay. Great to have you rejoin us. Sincere apologies. So with that break, we had to take care of some technical issues, and we're back now, and we're getting back into this conversation. I'm still playing host, by the way, to Dindu Davidson Chituru, who is the director, Let's Go Painting. We've been talking about pretty much how he dabbled into the painting. Some people call it painting ministry, but yeah, how he got in there. So yeah, let's continue this conversation, really. If we were to put it on a scale, or put it on a quiz, puzzle, paint production versus painting a building, which is more lucrative, and why would one choose one over the other?
I would want to do paint production over the painting of buildings. But I started with painting of buildings anyway.
Okay.
Then as we are growing, we now ventured into paint production, because the two goes hand in hand. If you have a client that wants you to paint a building, and then you're not the one bringing the paint, they have to go buy paint elsewhere. And now use your strength, your energy, your workforce to do the job. So, but if you are the one producing the paint and also doing the workforce, organizing it and all that, it goes well with the income.
I like the way you emphasize that, the income. Very important. But tell me, at what stage did you know you needed to add paint production into your business apart from just painting?
Okay, you need to add value to what you were doing. So when we were doing that, I noticed some of the clients used to tell me to buy pens. They will send money over. They don't know me, but they will send the money over for me to buy pens when I'm coming to either their house or the site. So that gave me the idea. Maybe why don't you start producing pens? So when they call you, you're now the one bringing the whole thing. And it goes well when you are the one doing it like that.
No, tell me, because I'm curious, very curious right now.
I'm with you.
When it comes to paint production, is that not a very tedious process?
Of course it is, but there's a way you manage it, and then the stress goes down for you. You have to get people engaged. You have to get other hands. You have to form a team that will help you do that. That's why it becomes easy. You can't do it alone. So I get people, whenever the job comes, I call people, they come around, and we do the production and then separate them in colors the way they are.
Okay, now, have you ever been faced with a situation where you had people who come learn under you, like apprentices, and then one day they just decided to just up and leave? They have not finished their training, but they've left, and in their head, on their minds, they think they've learned what they need to learn to go and do their stuff. How have you experienced that, and how do you think people can handle that?
The person is on his own.
Okay.
The person is on his own. You can't be bigger than your master. You need to learn and bend down, learn the main techniques. If you live like that, there are some things you will not know. But if you bend down, there are some things you will know. So me that has bent down over the years to go and put things down and get the value that I need, there are some sacrifice that I render to the people that taught me how to do that.
Right.
Yeah, so they need to also do the same so that it will go well for them.
Now, okay, let's come back to this paint thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, you did say something about how you dabbled or got into paint. Does this also have anything to do with what you read in school? Is there any relationship, or there's no correlation whatsoever?
There was no correlation. I studied surveying and informatics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So what happened to that part of your life? No, it's important to ask.
Yeah, I know. I gave it a break for now.
Okay.
I gave it a break for now. Then I have to chase the one that is putting food on my table.
I understand perfectly. But I mean, a lot of people will argue that being a surveyor would put food also on your table.
Of course it does. Of course it does. It does. When I say it does, it really does. But the thing is that is the association, the people that is involved in the surveying departments and all that. If you had a chance to push forward in that, of course you will. So, but if I don't have a chance to push that, and I have a chance to push this, then there's also a way here. I can't be stuck.
I get where you're going to with that conversation. So let's look at a few things.
Okay.
Relative cost of materials. To produce this paint. Has it tripled? Is it the same, or is manageable?
Okay. The materials it depends on the distributor, the seller. The cost of the prices of the materials depends on the seller. Like yesterday, I went to go brand my buckets with my name, Let's Go Paint. So when I was coming back, I decided to branch somewhere at Penox where they are selling the chemicals. So I noticed that the person's price, his prices ranges are different from where I was buying before.
Was his own higher or lower?
His own is lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his own is lower. Both the calciums and the chemicals, the way he measures them in kgs and all that. You understand? His own is lower. I didn't budget to buy, but because of what I saw, so I decided to buy immediately. Like, I didn't plan it, but I decided to buy. So it depends on the seller. Sometimes it's the people that is doing the business that is causing us the problem. Yeah. So, and also it depends on how the person bought from the people that is supplying. So you can't just, simultaneously, and just compare. So it depends on the person that is selling.
But generally, would you say it has not been, okay generally, or have you been, a lot of people have been crying that raw materials has been an issue for them, getting raw materials from where they buy to where they want to use it and all. Has that been an issue for you as well?
We are managing the situation. For now, everything is high in the market based on the purchasing price. Everything is on the high side. But sometimes when you get a product cheaper, we're also considering the quality of that cheap product. That is another thing. And it helps when you consider, like when I get home, I get to where I'm forming all these things, I need to test the formulation of the equipments I'm using. When I finish mixing, I choose maybe this part of the wall, I paint it by myself and then see how the coverage is looking, see how the mixture and everything is going before I will now continue to patronize the person, even though it's cheap or it is high.
I get that.
Yeah.
So tell me, which type of paint is the easiest to make? I mean, I know there's acrylic, there's emulsion, there's oil, etc. So which of these, okay, let me ask you, which of these do you specialize in? I think that's a better question.
I do all the paints.
Okay,
I produce the emulsion, I produce the satin, I produce the matte, and then the oil paints.
Interesting.
Yeah, I do that. The only one I've not tried doing is the marine paint, the one you use in the iron that you put inside the water. Yeah, so I've not tried that, but every other paints, I've done that. But when you do emulsion, you need virtually 2 or 3 chemicals to turn it to matte. Then when you do the matte, you need also 3 or 4 chemicals to turn it to satin or silk. So they go simultaneously hand in hand. So if you want to stop in emulsion, it depends on what you need and the end result that you want to achieve. So if you've done emulsion and you want to move it forward to matte, it's up to you, depending on what you want to get.
Okay.
So, but it depends on what the customer is also asking you to do for them.
Right.
But the prices are not the same because those chemicals are
something.
Yeah, some of them are.
In your head. Yeah.
Some of them are, you know.
Okay.
So
it is a function now. It's basically a function of what the client wants.
Yeah.
And of course, the extra cost that comes as per changing what to what.
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's look at you did talk about you talked about it in passing, but let's get back to it. This apprentice issue, sir. Okay. Let's come back to this.
Okay.
You said something about you serving for a pretty long time and eventually being able to be who you are at the moment. But do you think people who don't stay and learn long enough will not do so well at their businesses?
Some people learn fast. Some don't. Some need to see you do it before they can learn. Some don't really need to see you do it before they can learn. Do you understand? Like somebody like me, I need to mention this name. I was trained from Dulux. So as soon as the training was over, so I started going to YouTube for more upgrades, searching for videos, searching for productions, going for the materials that you need to produce one of the paints. So and then that was how I started looking for shops where I can get those things. And then one day I said, okay, since I've known that this is this, let me now check the formulation, how to mix them. I'll start buying by myself. I spent my money, go buy them. Not the one I will sell now, just the one I can use to paint.
Just to
do the experiment. So that was how I started. So some people don't need people to actually show them the way. They will go online. Everything is on YouTube. Every single thing is on YouTube. So when you go there, you search for the videos that will take you to what you really want.
Interesting. So okay, let's bring this home now. In Enugu specifically, right?
Yeah.
How would you rate the level of patronage of persons when it comes to people who are making paint versus buying paint? Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
Somebody wants to paint his house, and you say, "Hey, Oga, I make this paint."
Okay.
They say, how much? You not mention a price. And I'm like, this social person sells at. I like the way you're nodding. You already know where I'm going with this.
Yes.
Now, how do you handle those kind of situations?
Okay. It's really, really challenging. Let me put it that way, because the market is there, but now we have competitors in the market. So if a particular brand of painting company is selling for maybe so price, you are not meant to compare with them like what they are selling. You are meant to be what you are selling, not what they are selling. If you can convince your client to buy your paint at a particular amount, then the person agrees to buy it at that amount. It's for you now to give the person the quality of what they want and the finishing of the job. Just give them the test they want according to their specification. Once you were able to do that, they don't mind giving you whatever amount you are mentioning, and even leave those competitors and patronize you. So long as you are durable and you are quality, don't worry, they will patronize you.
Okay, so usually this will take a while because I mean, someone does not know you and you say you're making paint and you get the point.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about real quick because our time is running fast. How would you rate the, so to speak, the returns on investment versus the cost of starting paint production? Returns on investment on one side, and on the other side, the cost of starting paint production business here in Enugu State.
Okay, everything has to be detailed. Everything has to be detailed. If you're buying your materials at a price that you're buying it, maybe you pen them down, get a book and pen them down. Then after production, it will determine how you're going to sell.
So, right? Right.
So that's what they control the price, both your transportation and everything, miscellaneous, whatever you spent producing. At the end of the day, you calculate and then see how you're going to visit the market. And how the market is going to respond back to you.
Because that's the thing.
Yes.
So finally, before I let you go, what are the major challenges you faced, specifically here in Enugu State? I mean, starting out the paint production business, really. I mean, do you even have time for yourself? Let's start there.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's talk about it.
It depends on the duration because sometimes I don't have time. But for now, I do have time. Like last year, the whole of last year, I don't even have time to sleep. We have a lot of jobs. The ICC, the conference center, I got a contract there to paint the whole outside in the compound, the whole building, just the outside. And then after finishing that, I also got another one to paint from government's house to this old park. So I painted across the CBN, the caps. So I painted it. So we did that night and day. So I didn't have my time. Also, the GTC building, the smart schools, we painted and we walked when the president was coming. So we didn't have time. I didn't have time to sleep. We were there 4 a.m. from the whole night to the other day until he came and he left. After that, we still move over to Ido, the smart school. So the job was coming. So I don't have time. I'm coming, you're just like I'm visiting my house.
Your house became the
I'm visiting my house.
Now.
Yes, I sleep in the site. So I visit my house. As soon as I'm coming, I'm going out. As soon as I'm coming, I'm going out. So that was how it was the whole of last year. So, but the main challenge that we are facing is not to do the job. It's to get paid at the end of the day. We do all those suffering and then those challenges and we overcome it and give you a proper job and you are satisfied. Give us our money. Let's pay the people that we've engaged. That's where we are having problem with the people that is engaging us in the work. Yeah.
So that has, have you sought a way to handle this?
I'm still on the way to find a better way of following them. If you tell someone to pay you 70% of the agreed payment, they don't do that. They rather give you maybe 40% and ask you to start work. That's mobilization fee. When they mobilize you, you start working. Then when you get to a stage, you now tell the person, the money you give us, we need another money to continue. If the person is shaking their head, then there's a problem. And they normally shake their head.
I was going to ask you whether they normally shake their head.
Yeah.
Oh, well. I think that there are ways we could handle this issue.
Okay.
But then, I want to thank you seriously for coming. I wish we had more time. Our time is really fast spent. Thank you so much. I didn't do. Okay. Davidson,
Yes.
Chituru, who is the director, Let's Go Painting. We didn't even have the time to talk about your business, Let's Go Painting, how the name came about, but we're going to have part 2 of this conversation.
No problem.
We will have part 2.
No problem.
Anyway, this is the size of the package on today's edition of the Eastern Business Report. And well, coming up next will be Afia. And Just so you know, you can be part of this conversation on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Do tap on the search bar www.youtube.com/@Afia Business. While you're there, remember you should like, subscribe, and of course turn on notifications so you get to know when we put up new content right there on our dedicated Afia Business YouTube channel. Take care of yourself. This is it. My name is Ubong Kings. Good morning.